Hello folks and welcome to Production Line. This is a new game for me. I've played it before, but it's a game that's been not updated for like 3 or 4 years, but it's really fun. It's kind of that, it's a production line. You build cars and you optimize and try not to go bankrupt. It's a really fun game, so let's take a look here. I'm going to go on new. There's a whole bunch of pre-made things here. There's not a lot of scenarios here, but you can check the little scenario box. And we're going to do this one. We're going to try to sell 3,000 budget cars in 10 days. So we're going to go play the mission and we're going to take a look and see what exactly is happening here. So to start off, we need to choose what we want as our kind of thing. So we'll do that. And we're just going to call this Red Moon Rocket Auto, if I could spell. That one's better. Okay. We cannot do a custom one, I don't think. Alright, so if we take a look here, we can have all of our stuff. We can have the ability to add on to our plant. There are places where things come in, things where cars go out. These are for research and for different types of autos. You can do all kinds of stuff here. So to start off with, you have your research, where we can go in and take a look at different things that the cars can do. So we can specialize in different things, but we do have to sell cars before we can do any of that stuff. And you can see that they do cost an amount of money, and that money is research points, which we don't have any research labs yet, but we will soon. So I'm going to start off by researching that, and that's kind of it. We can also go over into our technologies here, and you can see that we can start researching different technologies for our car as well. The more features you unlock, the easier or harder it is to sell your car, because you do have competition as well. And then designs, you have to have different design things set up there, which I don't currently have. So we take a look here. When we go in and look at this, we have our resource importers, and there are other types when you research them. You have conveyors along with other types of conveyors when you research them. And then we can go through and actually start assembling the chassis, all of this stuff. And all of these things can be built up a little bit more to do different things. So it's kind of just a game of optimization and figuring out how you want your stuff to flow together. So I think what I'm going to do, since I have a resource importer right there, we'll go to an importer right there, and we'll throw another one in over here. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of money right now doing this, but we'll go there and we use the letter R to rotate that. So, no, let me just do what I want here, game. All right, so we'll go in here. We will make sure we fit the body. So that's going to happen, let's say right there. Okay, I know. And then we can connect them with conveyors here. And occasionally it'll do this where they don't want to connect. Oh my goodness, just leave me alone, game. I know how to play. There we go. All right. And then you need to use your conveyors to connect the different green little import areas here to different things. You can see that stuff comes in, so we have axles coming in and parts for the car's body coming in here. While we're doing that, we need to make sure we also are able to paint the car, so we'll throw paint, let's say, over here. We'll get another conveyor set up on that shortly. Alright. And then from there, we're going to fit the engine. And if you hover over this, it gives you how much time it takes. So building the chassis takes 13 minutes and 11 seconds. Fitting the body takes a long time. That's 32 minutes. Paint takes 34 minutes. Fitting the engine is 22 minutes. And accessories and all that stuff kind of chill out a little bit after that. So we're going to do something like that. These guys are going to come up there. And I don't know where we're going after this. Let's see, there's an export all the way up there. So I'm going to go over here to exports. That lines up automatically. I really wish it would stop popping up all those things, and I don't know how to turn that off. We'll have a quality check, which we can't really do anything about yet. But once we get some more things undone, and if you take a look, the electronics fit is 2 minutes, so it doesn't take any time at all. And then our accessories are 14 minutes. So we'll do that. all that's going to flow in there. And right after, let's see. So we had our fit engine, and after we fit the engine, we have their accessories. We're going to have another resource importer right here that is going to import items for those two there. And then we need something for the motor area, so we're going to throw that on right there. Now, as this goes forward, we do have other things we need to be considerate of. If we go into facilities, you can see we have a marketing department, all this stuff, but research office is what I want. And that's going to allow us to start doing research for ourselves here. Now, one thing we really need to pay attention to on this game here is making sure we have budget. Money can go very quickly in this game, especially depending on what you're doing. So if we take a look here, we don't have anything on the market. We can do market analysis and discounts and all that stuff. But let's take a look at our car. So our basic sedan, we're gonna make sure that it's priced kind of up on the upper end of our stuff because it doesn't need to be. We can also name it. So I'm just gonna call this sedan B1. So it's our basic, our budget car, and it's our first version of that. So we're going through here, and you can see we're getting a little bit of a backlog of our chassis. So what we can also do, if we have the budget to do so, is we can throw in another body fitment. Rotate that around. And then we can have that go into various different areas. And I think we're probably going to need another paint shop as well. Paint shops luckily aren't very expensive. We'll have it do something like that. So now as we speed up the game a little bit. No, we don't have a stock polygon on that one. Oops. So now we have all of that stuff, and hopefully we'll stay ahead of the game here. And eventually what's going to happen is we're going to unlock more stuff. You can see here how we are researching things. We're going to add some of this stuff to our line of things that we want to do. So we just got more robots, and if we take a look, it's going to increase the efficiency. So I'm going to upgrade all of the robots that we have, and our time for some of this stuff is going to go down. I'm just going to add some of these basic things to our queue, just to make sure we have them all available to us. And we're not going to do any performance features because we're not doing that. But if we take a look here real fast and go take a look at the chassis, let's take a look at this one here. You can see that as we upgrade it, it only takes 29 minutes and 30 seconds now, as opposed to before the body fitment was 32 minutes. So upgrading the robots shaves some time off of all this. Same with our fitment here. It's down to 20 minutes. I think it was like 24 before. But you can see we're starting to run out of money. So we got to start selling some cars here. We have our first car going down. It's getting its, what is this? All of its accessories. After that, it's going to go get its electronics, do its quality check. And another car is coming up behind it there. And it is out the door. So there's our first car. It's for sale. It has a number of customers and it's been sold. So we have sold a car here. If we hover over, how can we see how many cars we've sold total? I don't know. There's a way to see how many cars you have. Oh, there we go. So scenario objective here, we've sold a total of 3 cars now. So we have to sell 3,000 in a couple days. But if you take a look here, we're on day 0 and it's still early on day 0. So we're doing all right. We may need to have another one of these at some point, but we'll deal with that later. We can also schedule our production on this, so we can change what type of cars we're producing, all kinds of cool stuff. But that's not what we're trying to focus on right now. Right now, we are just trying to sell some cars and get out of the way here so that they can do what they need to do. And we're definitely going to need to have a upgraded area here. We're going to get backlogged here, I think, in a little bit, but that's okay. We're already backlogged here. You can see our chassis are already outpacing our ability to put them together. So we're slowly unlocking a whole bunch of this stuff. We are close to being able to add on some more customizations as far as what we're making, and that'll make more sense here in just a little bit. But let's just take a look and see how we're doing with all this. And you can see that we have a lot of space. You can see how they go down, and the different colors kind of indicate where they're at in the process. So eventually we'll be able to highlight like stuff like this, the quality checks, and get better quality and make sure that nothing with defects goes out of the door. But we are moving along here. We have our 10 cars sold, so now we can go into our processes, and you can see that we can actually start customizing or designing things specifically for different stuff. We can also even more robots, faster conveyors, all kinds of cool stuff here. And let's see, what do we want to look at here? So smart junctions are really useful for lots of things, especially when you get a little later in the game. So I think we're going to add this one to the queue, and then we're going to go all the way up here and do our chassis specialization, and then we can kind of start doing some more things here. But our cars are moving down. We are selling stuff. We do have money, but you can see how we haven't made a lot of money. It is stuff, and we do have the ability to take loans out as well, which I'm not interested in doing right now because we don't need to, I don't think. We just need to kind of hang tight and do some research to get money out of the door so that we can get there. Although I very much might add on another engine option here. So how much would the fit engines? 9. It's going to use half of our money to do that. But I think that's going to be a good use of our money, because if we can get more cars out of the door, that means we can sell more cars more quickly, and we should be good. Our chief operating officer, yeah, I know we need to produce a lot more cars, and we do have loans here. Luckily, the interest rate's pretty high, but the payback terms are not that big a deal. So like something like that I'm interested in, but not quite yet. But I just love watching all the little robots, especially at like real speed here. When you slow it down, you can see all the robots doing their thing. It's just really fun game to watch play out. Especially as, let's see. Yeah, okay, so Arrival Company is Research Electric Motors for their windows. That's fine. We don't need to worry about that right now. But you can see here as we go into our technologies, as different stuff becomes available, like all of these right now, we can't do most of this stuff because it requires specializations over here. So it's kind of a back and forth kind of game on what we do. And you can see this one here. When a competitor has it, it's it's rare for a luxury to have electric windows, and it's just not a thing at other levels. So we're okay with that so far. And we're just going through here, and you can see our cars are being produced. They go out the door, and we're good to go. And if you zoom out, depending on where you're zoomed out, the zoom levels kind of indicate different areas here. So like if we go in here, you can see that there's color coding for each of these things, and it matches what's on there, which I think is pretty cool. But eventually you see here that if we go in and take a look, let's go to the chassis here. You have all of these things, but if we go to the plus sign underneath there, we even have the ability to manufacture these things. So not only are we going to be assembling the car like most artifact manufacturers, we can actually be responsible for the actual manufacture of items. There are also battery stuff in here, so there's all kinds of cool stuff that is coming down the road. It just takes a little while to get up to speed and to be able to afford all the things that we need to afford. Now what I would love to do is unlock this thing, and this is where our chassis are made, and then we can go out and do more specialization throughout the rest of the factory. But one, we don't need to right now because we have plenty of space as of right now, and we can always reconfigure a lot of this stuff down the road, which is what we're going to have to do. So as far as scenario goes, we've sold 30 cars, so we're 1% done, and we're basically halfway done our first day. So we will pick this up here real soon with more stuff, and hopefully research-wise, yeah, we're going to be in better shape here real soon. One of the other things I want to research here, if we go down this list, we can get a power plant. And power plants allow you to produce your own power, so you don't have to buy it. It makes everything a little bit less expensive long term. So we're going to add that to the queue as well. And I'm not worried about specializing all of this stuff yet. I want to make sure we can add some of this other stuff. So even though we don't have these things yet, we can go through and start unlocking some of this stuff here. Even though they're locked, but they'll once they get unlocked, we'll be in good shape. All right, I'm not worried about any manufacturing otherwise right now. I just want to get some of the basic stuff done. You can see there's a big backlog here. You see all those cars here, and even our paint area is starting to get a little backlog, which is interesting. So now they're doing research on entertainment, and then we're going to be in much better shape because we're going to actually start being able to produce some things for ourselves. So we're focused on just on budget cars, so I'm not necessarily super interested in making sure we have all of the special things that we need to have. What we really do need to focus on, though, is making sure that when we sell a car, that it is made for the least expensive amount possible. So take a look right now, even though we haven't done anything, we're losing money on the car because our overhead is high, and we basically poured $23,199 into it, and we're selling it for $23,000. So if we upgrade it just a little bit, it still stays in the budget. So you can see 25,000 changes over to a mid-range. So we want to go to the budget and just see if we're able to sell cars at a slightly higher price to maintain our profit margins here. We get all these little pop-ups here. Some of them are useful, some of them are not. You can see that our bank rates, like this one, is definitely way better than what some of the others are. And yeah, I know we need to produce more cars. That's fine. We're going to ramp up production here very soon. Just going to take a little time for us to unlock all of the fun things that we need to unlock. So once we do that, we'll unlock all of this stuff. You can see there's a lot of specializations, and things have to happen in a certain order. So, any more specializations? No. Roof manufacturer, trunk manufacturer, hood. Okay, we're not going to worry about manufacturing any of that stuff quite yet. We want to make sure we get this one, so it unlocks the fit roof, fit doors, and fit body frame. This one unlocks a lot of stuff, and then we need to unlock the bumpers and the arches, whatever those are in the car. But yeah, we're just moving along here. We will be producing a whole lot more cars here very soon. Might add on another paint booth. So grab our paint, rotate that into its spots. There we go. And that should help clear out some of that backup that's there. And the game gives you a little bit of grace with some things. So eventually, as we continue down here, there's going to be defects, and those defects will affect our ability to sell cars and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's kind of builds on itself. It's kind of neat how it works. So we'll explore that more here very shortly. But right now, my main goal is to make sure that we can start saving some money. We have fit axles, fit fuel tank, and fit undercarriage. So when we go in here, I'm going to pause the game real fast. You can see it has new, and when we go in here, we have axles, undercarriage, and fuel tank. So if we take a look here, fitting axles is 6 minutes and 53 seconds. This one is 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and then this one is 4 minutes and 6 seconds. But if we take a look here, all of that doesn't add up to what that is total. So by doing the things individually, we can kind of go through here, and once we get the axle specialization, we'll actually be able to do the front and the rear. Right now it's doing front and rear together. So our next thing on here, we're going to bring that up to that, but right now we're doing faster conveyor belts, which will automatically upgrade our conveyor belts to do things a little quicker, and then we can really start playing in here a little more. actually, let's take a look here. Yeah, I want to manufacture all this stuff first, even though some of these manufacturing things are going to take a long time. But I get a lot of satisfaction out of watching all of these little pieces come in here and then really optimizing all this stuff. So when we take a look at our graphs here, we can see that we're producing 4 cars an hour. We're only running 3, or right now half. Only 30% of our things are running. Speed is at 100%, and as we upgrade, that will go faster. And you can see that right now we're not doing a whole bunch of stuff. What's the matter here? Yeah, I know we need to do more. Production slots, you can get an idea of what's running, what's not. So in this one, we're waiting for resources, only less than 1%. Waiting for the next slot is 6.3, so these cars are waiting 6% of the time, running and then waiting. Component-wise, you can see the cost of what all of this stuff cost us. So like the seats are very expensive. And if we look through here, what are we going to be making here soon? The fuel tank we'll be making. So that's $1,000 that we're spending per hour to make that. That's going to be a whole lot less here real soon. How about our axles? We're going to be producing those soon. I don't know where they are. Front axle, rear axle, where are they at? Alright, if we go back here, you can see that our production line should speed up. And features-wise, you can see that it's still very rare for all of this stuff. But there's a lot of customization that comes with some of these things here down the road. And you can see our production line speed is now at 117% because our these conveyors are physically moving faster, which means there's going to be less time waiting for an open spot here. But we now have, like these guys, he's going to go there. Oh no, he's going to go there. Okay. It's always interesting to see what path the cars take. So like it should go to that one. Perfect. And we'll be moving through all of this real fast. But once we get our axle specialization, we'll be able to start building over here and loop back into this area, I think. And we'll produce a whole lot more cars much more quickly. At least that's the plan right now. But we'll see what happens and how it goes. Just need that research to go a little faster. And you can see we have a whole list of stuff that's coming our way. Generally, manufacturing stuff is not the best idea right out of the gate. You want to kind of use the default ones, and then you can specialize in certain areas and then build on those areas. But for me, I really like to knock down the cost as much as possible, especially as we're trying to build a budget car. We're really cost conscious as far as what we're doing here. So we need to make sure we're paying attention to that. And research wise, we really should also go into administration and make sure we do our QA stuff and make sure that we have all of our checklist and stuff done so that we can rework. Is there a reworking station? So one of the other things here is when the cars do kind of eventually have a problem, they have to get reworked on defects. So we need to add that to our queue as well, so we can figure out when we do have a problem, we can fix it. All right, so we're gonna slow down the game here, and we have our new stuff. And we have stuff floating there. So you can see we have fit axles. So I can do front axle, and these just go in order. So front axle, followed by rear axle, followed by drive shaft. And all of that is 2, 2, 2. And unfortunately, our fuel tank takes a lot longer. So we're going to have 2 of those set in here. So I'll have 1 and 2. And then we can get rid of this whole thing here. And our resources will start going down that way. And for right now, I'm going to have these just kind of fade into that one. But we should be able to see a big change in how fast all this stuff goes together. And our robots actually, when we click on these, we can go to upgrade, and by all, we'll upgrade all of the robots. Oh no, I forgot a step. Okay, so just kidding with this. I forgot to do the undercarriage. So we'll just go in and fix that. Not a big deal. But yeah, things do have to happen in order, and if they don't happen in order, it doesn't work. So that's our drive. Okay, then we can go over here. Then we can go to fit fuel tanks. 1 and 2. And just reconnect all this stuff together again. And I am going to upgrade all. Oh no, did I already get that? No, these guys need to get upgraded, right? Yeah. So we are making money. We're down in $150,000. Now we're up at 400, but you can see that we'll be able to, this line is going to get, we're just pumping out them way faster now, just purely because of that one change that we did. So our next goal here is to, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to pause that right there. I know the next slot's not connected. I want to move through this, and then I want to rearrange this area here eventually, so that we have more space to build more cars. So if we take a look here, our next spot is body fitment. I think what's going to happen is we're just going to run them all down here. But I need all of this to start going away first. So if I could fit body right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, instead of going that way, let's see, they'll all come down that way. And then body fit is expensive, but we can do it. So we're going to get 2 new body fitments on there. They will connect in there, and then eventually they'll join up with the paint stuff, but we just want to get these other ones going first. And once we have this area connected back up, you see all these pieces, how they come in? You can do customizations for all those, but you see how we've already maxed out this thing. Like, it's ready to go already. So that's a good sign, and we'll get some money back when we get rid of all this here as well. I don't believe it really depreciates in value, so that's nice. And it should give us some more options to do more things with the cars here shortly. And we're in the last car in that line that needs to be produced. But luckily, we can now connect those over to this. And we should start seeing an increase in the amount of vehicles that we're producing. And I really like to clean up all of the conveyors. I don't know why, but just something that I like to do. Not necessary in the slightest, but it makes me feel better. There we go. Alright, so we have all of that stuff ready to roll here. And again, I'm just going through and redoing these things that don't need to be redone, but it makes me happier to have them kind of knocked out. And you can see we have 3 of these going now, and we're still not anywhere close to being able to kind of take care of that. So we're going to add on another one here. And we're going to, again, move way back on the income scale here. But if you take a look, we're still making 4 cars an hour. That should increase here as we start maximizing cars and have them go through. I really like that, the synchronization of all the first 3 kind of going out at the same time. That was very fun. But now you can see that we're starting to get cars lined up in our paint booths, and that's exactly what we want. Research-wise, we are working on making axles, and then we'll be able to start manufacturing them, and we can actually have them be localized, which is awesome. So take a look here, we go to axles. We can make our own axles now, and axles take 8 minutes and 2 seconds, so we're probably going to need a couple of these to maximize what we want. And then we need to connect all of that there, and then when we take a look at this, eventually we can choose which ones we want to do. So you can see that we've produced our own ones, locally built components. They always use those first, and then we can go for it from there. So that's awesome. What was our chief operating officer saying? I know we need to produce more cars. We need more money first. But you can see we have our axles starting to go in here now, and then they get carried over. So they tell you if they're imported or not, and you can see some locally made axles are now popping up. So we're going to start producing a lot more local stuff here, which is exactly what I want to do. And it's fun to watch these things. It brings in the raw material, goes to the machine, and then pops out all that stuff there. And imported axles are start going away, and locally made axles will start to really go in and make everything that we need there. I apologize for my dog if you hear her in the background. She's just crazy. Next one that we have here, we're going to have fuel tank manufacturer. And again, we are like maxed out on a lot of our stuff here. So we're going through doing all of our stuff, but our cars themselves should start being more and more made by us, which is what we want. We're probably going to need another paint booth on here soon, but we need to make a little bit more money again. So now we can manufacture our own fuel tanks. They take a nice long time to manufacture. So I'm not sure how I want to arrange them. Maybe something like that. But now we have resources for that coming in, and we should be able to make our own items. And yeah, these are going to take a little while to do. But you can see that fuel tanks now, we have some of those, but we also have locally made ones. There we go, some locally made ones that are doing their thing. And yeah, I'm pretty happy. Although if we take a look at our budget here, we are quickly losing money. So I'm going to pause that real fast, take a loan out because we are running low. Let's see, 470, that's going to give us payback of that. Low interest rate. We can take over $1 million out, or this one, which also is a low interest rate, but it's way more money than we need right now. So we can do that, and there's no real limit. You can take out more loans. You can take up to 3, kind of like Parkitect or lots of other games where you kind of have a limit on how many loans you can take out. So we're going through and doing that. What are you saying? Yeah, I know we need a lot more cars. Our backup right now is now paint. So we're going to go over here and add on another paint booth or 2. And we're just going to connect those all the way over. And then we're probably going to have to increase our engine area here. Did we increase the number of cars? No, we're still making 4 cars per hour. We've sold 4%, 127 cars. Whoa. Okay, we have a backup over here now, our accessories fitment. So let's take a look here. The accessories, 14 minutes. Everything else is way shorter, so we're going to just rotate that in there. Connect that up to that spot. And now we should be able to do that in half the time. So we're doing good here. It's, again, this game is all about optimization and unlocking better ways to do things. So you can see that our paint is being very nicely taken care of. We still are, I mean, we're loading up here, but we're now going to have to deal with the engine. So we're going to go over to the engine area here. Let's connect our conveyors or our resources first. And now we have another one. And we're up to 6 cars per hour now. And we're chewing through this area, which is nice. See, this is completely backlogged. We can make far more cars if we had the space and time to do all this. We're down to all locally made axles, it looks like. All locally made fuel tanks. So I'm pretty happy about all of that. And if we take a look here, this is staying nice and full. We have a couple slots, so when cars come down, they fill those in. 1, 2, 3. So we have a backlog of cars here, but not like terribly bad. And they're doing what they're supposed to do. So eventually the goal here is to get all of this stuff constantly moving, never stopping, never having to really go through and worry about any of that. And you can see companies continue to research more stuff. It's all in the high-end things, although air conditioning is making its way down. So that's going to be something that we're going to add to our queue because we're going to need that. And a sunroof. Budget cars don't have sunroofs, so we're not going to worry about that. But air conditioning in a budget car would be a really nice thing to add on and should help us sell some more stuff. It also, I believe, when we go into body fitment, I can't see what's going on there yet, but when we hover over this, I think fit air conditioner is one of the things in here. It's in one of the things for the specializations, so we are going to want to make sure we have that. We're up to 8 cars per hour now, so we are producing what we need to produce. We don't have we have lines of cars, but it's not terrible by any means. And we're getting cars pumped out here, which I'm pretty excited about. So we're going to keep going here for a little bit more. We'll stop somewhere in day 1, and then maybe at the end of day 1 we'll stop for this video and then pick it up at another time. But this game, again, super fun, super easy to do. You can get lost in the weeds really easily, and you can also play a whole lot. So there's a lot of different ways you could approach how this goes. So we're just trying to make sure we survive long enough here to get everything that we need, which we are doing what we need. The only thing I like right now is that this area is not really backing up. So we're pretty much maintaining what we have there. And now we can also make our own drive shafts. So if we go in here, fit axles, fit drive shafts, make drive shafts. Oh, and they're made very quickly. So now pretty much everything in our chassis, well, everything except for the undercarriage, which we can't manufacture, that's not an option, but everything else in our car is completely self-made here as far as the frame area goes. After that, it's all imported, but we're manufacturing a lot of our own stuff, which is very nice. I like doing that, especially because if you take a look at the component cost, it comes way down. So if we find axles here, you notice the hourly import cost is 0, and it brings the cost overall way down. So like powertrain, super expensive. Seats are super expensive. And we can manufacture most of this stuff by ourselves if we wanted to, which is really fun to do. So our cars are building up right now, and I think we're probably going to have a little price adjustment here. And hopefully try to sell some cars, because we can't have that many cars in the showroom. We have 15 cars in the showroom. If we decrease that a bit, it should help us to sell some more cars. Maybe not. The thing is that like right now we're making a gross profit of 107 if we sell them for that price. If we bring down this, we are losing money technically, but we're still making $23,000 because we sold it. We've already put out the money because it's already manufactured. So now you can see that number is going down. Looks like we probably found close to the right number for what we need to sell this car for. And then we also have power plants. So now we can start producing our own power. And I'm just going to shove it. Let's see if we can fit some down in this corner here. So they are found under facilities, I think. Do we not have power plant? Or is that what we're researching now? Unlocks a high output power plant. Do we not have the other power plant? No, okay. So we did the wrong thing. We did the power plant efficiency before we did the actual power plant. That's okay. Not too big of a deal. Let's move that up to there. And I think we'll be okay. And we are selling more cars. You can see our money is slowly going up. That number is slowly going down. And that's what we need to have happen right now. So we have no export room, which means that all of our stuff is full, which is exactly what we want. And then we have stockpile, so we can actually, you can see how these things are kind of there, and then you have these plates right there. You can actually have that specialized a little bit more to do different things. What I think we're going to do, though, is we're going to move our paint supplies somewhere over here, because I want to be able to manufacture or put together different components of other stuff around that area. So we're just gonna, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So we're gonna put in 5 of these bad boys. 2, 3, 4, and number 5. We'll have our resources pop there, go straight across, and then we'll import right there. Luckily, we should be able to just connect right up to our original line there. Then all of these can come down over there. And I'm just going to start disconnecting the option for cars to come in some of these spots. You can see as we're getting body fitment, there's a whole bunch of new stuff. So you can see there's all of this stuff. The archers are the one that we have to break down, because all these things take about 2 minutes or so. But if you can get them broken down, the ones that take double as long can be kind of decreased significantly. So we're going through. I'm not going to disconnect this one yet. Actually, I can. Okay. There we go. And then we just need to reconnect our resource conveyor. There we go. And I'm just cleaning up the resources here. And yeah, that's gonna, I think, leave us off here for our first round of stuff. So just pausing the game real fast. We have our entire chassis assemble. That's all done by us, and everything that we can manufacture for that is manufactured for us. What we're gonna do in our next video here is we're gonna go over to the body fitment, and we're gonna start getting all of that. It does require a little bit more as far as specialization go. We're working on bumper right now. Then we have arches, and door specialization allows us to do a few more things as well. And then air conditioning. I forget where that kind of falls in here, but what does that unlock? Fit aircon. And is that under, let's see here. So air conditioning is environmental. It's a process here in one of these things. I don't know which part it is, if it's in accessories. Yeah, there it is, fit air conditioner. So we need to have that in order to do the next steps, but we're not there quite yet, but we are well on our way. So folks, thanks for joining me. I absolutely love this game. I find it incredibly frustrating sometimes, but it's a lot of fun once you get used to how all of it works. And I will see you in our next one. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.